Welcome to episode 24 of Drew's College Athlete Spotlight. Yes, we are back. It's been, a little over a month since the last episode of Drew's College Athlete Spotlight. As I mentioned, when I was back in school, we'll start it back up here. We'll go to episode 30 here, but we are on episode 24 today, and with that, we have Robby Michael on, a Division III football player from Lakeland University, also holds the state record in the state of Wisconsin for passing touchdowns. I think we talked about that. We had him on last year with Robert Shimmick, but Robby, you're here today, and how are you doing?
I'm doing good today. Yeah, very good.
And it's good to have you on again. And this year, I mentioned last time we had you on midway through your senior year, and look at this, we got you on now in the off season after your freshman year of college. So year one
Yeah.
here, but again, I mentioned Lakeland is where Robby's at. But Robby, we're gonna go back to your uh, KLC days. We'll say, even earlier than that, we'll go back to your grade school days, and I don't know when you started playing football. Right, we're talking football today, and
Yeah. I probably started playing football ever since I could remember. I had a ball in my hand as a little kid. Uh, it's something I grew up with in my household, and it's a game that I love very much. So,
yeah, I mean, you've mentioned, right, you played for a long time, and where were you playing? Like, was that always in Sheboygan area?
yeah, I've always played in Sheboygan.
Was it, or were you part of you were part of Sheboygan Lutheran, correct?
Mhm. Yeah, since sixth grade is when I started playing with Sheboygan Lutheran. Before that, I was playing just like YMCA football and things like that.
Gotcha. Yeah. Sheboygan Lutheran, then, which one we'll get to when we talk high school, right? Where the co-op formed is what I
Mm.
like to say was 2019 or yeah 2019 2020 season there. There's really just the 2019 football season, but the KLC enters the Eastern Wisconsin Conference, and we see and Sheboygan Falls moves to a different conference, but we'll get to more of that in the high school part. But I guess what position were you playing when you were young? Was it always quarterback? Was it receiver?
Yeah, I've played quarterback my whole life. Uh, that's something I've done since I was little. I honestly have no understanding why. I think I grew up in a house where my dad played running back and my uncles played running back, but I guess I made the move to quarterback.
Makes sense. And yeah, your audio it's fine, but like once in a while, it, like makes like this deep croaking noise. It's interesting. I don't
Mm.
know, but it's all good. Um, yeah, you mentioned going to quarterback and on defense. Were you playing position? What position were you at?
Back when I was in grade school, yeah, I think I was playing linebacker. So I mean, never did that in high school, but yeah, I think linebacker.
Yeah. So did you enjoy playing linebacker? I guess. Or were you okay with just
Mm.
sticking at quarterback?
Yeah, I like defense. I liked playing linebacker. My job was pretty much to contain the outside, but so I like doing that. So I did enjoy playing linebacker.
But quarterback still remains king, right?
Yeah,
In terms
for
of
sure.
where you okay. Yeah. We'll move here a little to right. We'll go to your freshman sophomore year. So Sheboygan Lutheran then was right where you played or for
Mm.
high school. Were you guys in the Big East for football
Yeah,
then?
yeah. KLC was in the Big East for my first 2 years. Yeah.
And how did you enjoy that? Was that something like it was nice playing? Like we were playing smaller schools. You had a lot less kids though to add to that. Was that how did that differ from those last years, or did it differ a lot?
There was a big difference. I think playing in the Big East, we were a very young team. Especially my sophomore year, but my freshman year, I mean, I got some playing time on varsity, and obviously that was our worst year, not winning a game. Going into my sophomore year, we started 10 sophomores and one junior, so we kind of knew that this is the team that we were going to build on for our junior year. So you're kind of getting that experience my sophomore year and playing the Big East teams. I mean, those teams are more local than the teams in the Eastern Wisconsin. So it's like you knew who you're playing a lot more. You grew up with them, and I think some of those teams pass the ball more, a little more than in the Eastern Wisconsin Conference, where you'll face maybe one team that throws the ball in your whole season. So,
Yeah, I think you hit that right on the nose. You'll see. I mean, you mentioned the Big East being a pretty pass-heavy conference historically, and then in the EWC, until KLC showed up, it was right. I mean, we had Two Rivers passing, but otherwise, right. I mean, every team's run first. If you go look at like the Brilliants, the Keels, the New Holsteins, the Val, every team's got a run first mindset.
mhm,
But I mean, you brought with your team, right? You brought a pass first mindset that is not really that common in the EWC, as you mentioned. Um, and with that, you brought a lot of buzz, um, a lot of different film strategies need to be implemented or in game. Because again, it was everyone was like, all right, Two Rivers, you face Two Rivers, they're gonna pass, and then KLC comes along, okay, they're gonna pass 40, 50 times a game potentially.
mhm.
But did you enjoy being that guy, in that offense, throwing the ball or running the ball, right? I mean, being that focal point of the offense, and let alone you had some great receivers along your side, some great offensive linemen, just a great offense in whole.
Mhm. Yeah, I loved our offense. It's something very similar to what I have here at Lakeland right now, and I feel like this offense was built for our talent. Because that was for my sophomore year, we inputted it, and obviously, I think an offense like that takes a lot of time because it becomes just with a lot of understanding of what the defense is giving you, and how to get your athletes the ball. And I think that's why we became very successful. Uh, I love being put in the role to kind of command the offense, having my reins to audible things and just be able to sling it and get everyone involved because I feel like getting the ball in open space to our athletes is what make what made us very successful. And I obviously, as you said, I had some very good receivers in my offensive line to protect me, so made my job a little easier.
So, with guys, right? I think of like Casey Verhagen, Colin Gerdakis, Matt Stefani, like those guys. Uh, were you playing with those guys at Sheboygan Lutheran, or like what guys were with you for the like when the co-op happened, or how did that
Mm.
go about?
Yeah, Casey and Colin and almost all of our guys have been playing together. Matthew Stefani did come like in high school. Never played with him until I was a freshman. But I played with them since I was really young. I don't. We in seventh and eighth grade, we didn't lose a game ever, and so uh, we knew we had a good class coming in. And I think, especially in Sheboygan Lutheran, in every sport, it's probably one of the best classes to ever became in. Um, and so, yeah, I knew we were talented. We had a very good work ethic and drive to win. So I think that's what kind of made us successful.
And you guys were a successful squad, putting up again. We've mentioned historic numbers offensively, and playing some great games throughout those years, and yeah. I want to go a little bit to basketball here in high school, right? You were playing basketball 4 years, correct?
Yeah, I
So
was.
was did you view basketball right as a sport? Keep you in shape, keep you in condition for football, or were you like was it like 1A 1B or how did that go about?
Yeah, that's a good question. I feel like my freshman year, I think I was more of a basketball player. I think just with my skill level in football, I wasn't exactly where I wanted to be. I mean, I was getting varsity time, but I wasn't. And for basketball, we won a state championship my freshman year, and I was on the team, got some minutes. So I think obviously winning a state championship in a very good basketball program throughout our whole history, that kind of made me love the game of basketball. But as I think it was my junior senior year, I really realized that like football was my number one thing, and basketball came second. So like that really made the turning point. I'm playing basketball here at Lakeland as well. So I mean I still love both sports, and so I think I mean football has the priority. I'll be honest, and everybody knows that. So that's just how my viewpoint is on it.
Yeah, and I do again. The title, right? We're calling you the Division 3 football player. Yeah, I need to add the basketball part as well, right? But again, you mentioned football being the focal point. Wanted to highlight more of the
Hmm.
football side here as that season just has come and gone. We haven't had the full college season yet, but we can talk a little about how that's going,
Hmm.
and how. playing two sports collegiately, in Lakeland, how you're able to do just that. But I guess I want to move a little here to more the senior year, right? Football, a little bit of basketball in there too, but recruiting wise, I guess after that after your historic senior football season, were you looking? What schools were you looking at? What schools were you in talks with?
Yeah, I've been talking to a lot of schools since my junior year. Senior year was kind of my year to prove it, and I feel like I did a lot of good things to put myself in the position to play in college. And for me, I was talking to schools on every level, if that was Division One, Division Two, Division Three, and I took a lot of visits to places, some D1s. I was really into St. Thomas and Drake, and a couple D2s, Bemidji State. But I kind of took a visit to Whitewater, UW Whitewater, and I kind of fell in love with it. Uh, but something didn't pan out there as the recruiter for me and the quarterback coach there ended up leaving and taking the head coaching job at UW Oshkosh. So after that happened, I felt like I didn't have the right ties to be at Whitewater, and then I also realized who I am as myself, and I want to play right away as a freshman. And I kind of wanted to just prove everybody wrong that gave me a lot of hate in high school, saying I'm too short to play quarterback. Other coaches that didn't really want to offer me. So, and that's exactly what I came here to do. I decided to come to Lakeland, play both sports as they gave me this option, stay close to home. And Lakeland was like the place that kept on showing me a lot of love throughout my whole high school career. Obviously, 20 minutes away from me. And after I decommitted from Whitewater, it was hard for me to find a home and receive those scholarship offers after I let them down the first time with picking Whitewater. And so, because it was late in the recruiting process, they have their recruits already formed. So, decided to come here and ball out and see what happens from there.
I had a big freshman year. We'll talk about some of your honors you got in our weekly honor there. But we got a nice comment here. Best QB in Wisconsin high school football. There you go. Some praise
Yeah.
there. But yeah, it sounds like a wild ride. Love to always hear the recruiting journey. Everyone's journey is different. Right, we've had some recruits, find one school right away and they fell in love with it instantly. We've had some other, athletes have take a lot of time, right? A lot of touring. And yeah, I mean, it's just overall, it's a wild process, but it sounds like you made the right choice. You made a great choice. And right, season one of college
Mm-hmm.
football, you at Lakeland as the quarterback, right? And here we also can see we get to see your career goal. I see college coach. We'll talk more about that later. But I don't know if some of these have changed, but still your favorite athlete, Lamar Jackson. So
Yeah.
I have him as my dynasty quarterback, fantasy football. Love the choice there. Also, of course, it's Lamar Jackson. Can't go wrong.
Yeah.
But
Can't go wrong.
season one for football, right? Right. I want to highlight one of your main things, right? It's your first year, right? Your first year, you were starting quarterback, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're able to have some big games, right? I want to highlight, and one of them was right where you guys got your first one of the year against Concordia Chicago.
Yeah.
446 yards of offense for you, Robby. I guess going through this game, and just not to just highlight this game, but it was week 6 of the season. Were things just starting to click there? Did you feel, or was that game just like how did that game go about for you?
Yeah. So, first two games, I was splitting time with one quarterback. So it was hard for me to get a rhythm with some of the guys. And when we decided to make that change in week 3, where I become the permanent starter, I feel like I was getting better every week. I think that's getting used to the game style, getting used to my own teammates and the play calling and everything. So when we got to that week, it was homecoming. Place was packed, and Victoria Chicago came in. We understood their game plan pretty well and watched a lot of film on them. And we saw that was a game that we had to go get a win and try to turn things around in conference. And my teammates had a great game. I had a great game, obviously. They're a team that was supposed to be a run stopping defense. That's what they're known for. giving up like 20 something yards to Aurora, who made a long run in the college football playoffs. And we came out there and uh, I busted off 3 long runs and got my teammates involved in the pass game when they decided to try and load the box. Uh, the funny story about that game is we think I played the second half of that game with a concussion. So kind of played through that game, was just kind of out there playing the game I love. Wasn't thinking as much, and things went really well for us on every aspect of that game, and that was our first win of the year, as you said, and
Homecoming.
homecoming.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I guess great win, but you said you might have sustained a concussion. I guess was that
yeah.
something you were able to come back for next week? Because you go from Concordia, and then you got to go to Concordia, but that's in Wisconsin. You got to go to Mequon.
Mm.
Are you able to be back in that one or
Yeah, I missed that game. So
okay?
that I finished the game of Concordia Chicago. Took 2 days, and I just knew like I wasn't there, and I didn't want to let my teammates down, let my coaches down, because uh, here at Lakeland, that's our rivals. CUW, they're our rivals here. So, and I knew I wanted to put our team in the best situation to win, and had to be the leader that I wanted to be. Obviously, I wanted to play, but also I have to look out for myself and my health. So talking to the coach and the trainers, we decided I don't play that game, and yeah, so didn't get to play against them.
Yeah, but overall this season, right? I mean, I mentioned the team, the roster, a decent amount of young guys. I know right there's some seniors sprinkled in there, but a lot of sophomore, junior, and then some freshmen. Again, like yourself, I guess. Is that did you feel this year? Right. I mean, a lot of you, freshmen slash sophomore, or some underclassmen in there. You guys felt this was a good year to right just get established, get some experience in, and get ready for next year. Now as we season has come and gone.
Yeah, we hate the term rebuild, but it kind of was. Had a very strong year before us when this team came in, a very strong senior heavy class, and this kind of reminds me of my high school career.
Yeah,
As a sophomore, we were all young, and I think we have something really special here. I mean, obviously, we had 3 wins, and that's not okay with us as players and as this program, and looking to change that. But yeah, a lot of people playing their first time of college football, and when you're not supposed to, getting in there from camp week, and it's a lot to get used to. Speed of the game, uh, just everything, especially how fast we want to play. So I think that is something that is like back from my high school career, and that's something that excites me because after the year after that kind of sophomore year, we had a very successful year. So
yeah, and I always like in the terms of high school and college, right? As you mentioned, never a rebuild, but more of like a retool, right? I mean, it's hard to
yeah,
say a rebuild in a sport where you only have a certain amount of years to play, and yeah, but I do want to touch on some basketball, right? I mean, while
mhm,
we're here, love to touch on basketball before we talk about some career goals, ambitions, and so far this year, 18 games already for Lakeland, the Muskies.
mhm.
Right now, 10-8, overall 4-7 in conference play. I just want to hear your thoughts, right, as the season or how's it gone, and how the transition from high school to college has been in basketball.
Yeah, yeah. The transition is obviously the competition's way better here. It's hard to say, but in high school, there's a lot of times where you're not getting 5 players on the court that are super talented. Usually, you've got one, maybe 2 or 3. So it's like you can't really attack one person. So uh, practice everything in here is just a lot tougher. I missed a month with the concussion uh, that I got from football, so it took me a while because I got 2 in the same year. So I didn't get to finish and go straight into basketball. It took a while, and took me a took me a while to start getting some playing time. But I'm getting a couple minutes a game now, and obviously our record is a winning record, but in conference it's not so far. We're trying to make the tournament. We have to win out to make the tournament. It seems like. So we're just kind of focused on just one game at a time and trying to piece by piece get our way there.
Yeah, eyes on the prize, right? And I mean, some of these guys, or you've played against some of these guys in high school, right? I mean, Cam
Yeah,
Yeager, right?
yeah, yeah.
Lewisburg, right? Great player there. And then some other guys. or some guys were from Lincoln, so maybe not like Gage Cornell.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, season, right? I mean, over 500 again. Your first year working in minutes, right? You got 8 minutes Saturday, right? So
Hmm.
we're just working into it, getting it back into the swing of things. You're not doing any spring sports, correct? Right. So that's more of your off season.
Yeah. Got myself a little break there. We'll have spring
Yeah.
ball for football though. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I was gonna ask about that. That's actually where I was going next before the career
Mm.
stuff. So I see February 9th. I mean, are you doing that spring ball? Like, are you doing the February 9th one? It's
Uh,
Carroll Lakeland.
I don't know if I will be, and I
Because
haven't really heard
basketball.
anything about that.
Oh,
If I'm being
I'm just seeing that
honest.
right here. Right here, football February 9th. Maybe this is, it's on the NAC website. So maybe
Mm.
there it's not up to date, right? But I did see that. I also see March 4th. Or that's
Yeah.
for Aurora though. No, so I mean I was looking through it a little here, but there's some games, right? You mentioned the spring football.
Mhm.
Is that like an actual game? Is it more of a scrimmage? Or how do they do the spring football stuff?
Yeah, so I'll be very new to that too, because in high school in Wisconsin, you don't get any time with your coach. You get a couple of contact days in spring ball. Um, like right now, we have our off-season lifts. That's pretty much all we have right now. So, but what I've heard from spring ball is we're gonna do a lot of installing. We're putting in a lot of new stuff, and then I think there's just I think for when we go against other teams or what, so I think it's a lot of just 7-on-7. I think that's what our whole plan is for everything, and getting our pass game, which was a struggle this year, and try to get that down. So
Awesome, yeah. Love to hear that, and excited to see what sophomore year for you for basketball and football brings. I want to talk
mhm.
here before we go a little about like what your major is, right? So, what are you going for school for at Lakeland?
Yeah, I'm going to major in sports management right now. Hmm.
Sports management. Okay, so and a long-term career goal, is it still college coaching? Is that
Yeah, I want to be a
and
college football coach one day.
college football like head coach or
Yeah,
I haven't really thought about that yet. I guess like
honestly,
offensive
an OC.
coordinator.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's where I
I'd
was
love
gonna
to be an
go. That was
offensive
my second
coordinator.
guess. 'Cause, you've been
Yeah.
around the offense for years now here, and
Hmm.
only gonna have more experience. I actually always
Yeah.
have a coaching question, so don't have to ask that one because you got me covered. But
Hmm.
all right, we touched on Lakeland, right? Location wise, and you built a relationship with them through the years as well, right?
Yeah.
It's
Hmm.
awesome. Last question, which this is kind of going to be like a change up in here. I want to talk about training, and I want to talk about you mentioned you have those team lifts from high
Hmm.
school to college. How would you say the training has it evolved? Has it been like just a lot more, or has it been harder?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think my senior year of high school, we decided to take that, and we hit that really hard. And that's something I kind of build into here. But in college, obviously, we've got our own strength and conditioning guy who personal plans for everybody. Different positions got their own thing. Uh, Here at Lakeland, what we're really trying to work on is speed, and so we work on our speed and jump every day, and our lifts are kind of obviously to get us bigger and stronger, but also just like what we will incorporate into the game. So like we use a lot more explosive lifts because that's how you play in the game. And I mean, they're a lot longer here. It's like I think our lifts and our exercises last like about an hour and a half, and then there's a lot of us that put in extra work because that's how you get better. So uh, I do be doing the football lifts even during basketball season, as we said, kind of the priorities thing earlier on in the video, trying to be there as a leader and everything. So yeah, I think in season, our lifts and our workouts, never really had them during our like just regular school week, but because I think it's different because we play on Saturdays instead of Fridays in high school. So that's a big thing.
Yeah. All right. It sounds like the training though it's going well. As even though it might be a little bit difficult, a little bit longer too, and a lot more
Mhm.
volume added with that. But Robbie, I want to wish you the best here academically and athletically. Good luck here the rest of the basketball season. Of course, the upcoming football season. When I say upcoming, I mean you already got some spring ball coming up, summer ball, football almost
Mhm.
almost as like over half a year or year round. And yeah, again, thank you here, Robby, for coming on.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I really do appreciate it.
Of course. And again, this will be up here on all listening platforms. That's Drew Sports Crew. So you can go check it out on there if you're watching the live stream. Thank you. And again, make sure to follow Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at Drew Sports Crew. I'll be back tomorrow night with another episode of Drew Sports Crew, episode 99 on that one. But again, thank you all for listening to yet another episode of Drew Sports Crew, the perfect podcast for you.